Jack, as an actor, where was this on your bucket list to finally work with Gus Van Sant?
I mean, this is literally a dream come true to work with Gus Van Sant. It wasn't on my bucket list because I didn't think it was possible, but on my wish list, it was up there at the top because Gus is, one of my top 5 favorite filmmakers of all time. So it was insane that I got the chance. And then I'm here talking to you about it right now.
One of the interesting aspects of movie making, especially when it's a real life story, is we get introduced to people we didn't really know anything about, and we kind of get to peel back layers of their life. How much did you know about John and his books and his story and his artwork?
I knew literally nothing about John Callahan before working on this movie. And to be honest with you, I said yes before I knew anything about this project, except for Gus Van Sant is doing a new movie. He wants you to vote. Yes. But having read John Callahan's book and researched his life, it is an amazing character to be brought to the silver screen. His journey is intense, to say the least. And I think the audiences will have a cathartic experience reliving this guy's journey.
Talk about your character for a little bit. He is definitely a hyperbole of excess. And as we go on this little journey, without giving too much away of what he represents to the story, where did you find him? Did you meet somebody like him? Was he based on a real person in John's life? Can you talk a little bit about that?
This character is in the book and in the film. He's how can I put this? He's an annoying blowhard. Now, I'm not going to name check the people in my life that I based my character on, but I definitely had an amalgamation of a few different people that shared some of that quality. It comes from a desperation, a need for love and to, fill an emptiness in one's soul. This guy was a real piece of work, and it was fun to play, but it takes a certain amount of I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but you have to sort of step outside yourself and say, we'll make peace with being sort of unlikable and really just go for the blowhard, full bore, and no looking back.
All of us have had kind of wild times in our life, but it's when to say no. And watching this movie, I think it gives a whole new perspective of like, wait a minute, we may think we're safe and we're in a kind of comfort zone, but you just never know what's going to happen out there. Did it kind of give you a different insight or appreciation?
I mean, it can happen in a blink of an eye. We're all very lucky to be alive and breathing and have the use of all of our facilities. And, it's a reminder of how fragile this life is and not to take anything for granted. I think I'm definitely a little more careful behind the wheel since doing this movie. But, I mean, I've always had little flashes of fear of, the next drive across town. You never know what's going to come at you. Even the most careful defensive drivers can find themselves in a life-changing car wreck at any time. So, yeah.
And the last question for you, speaking of life-changing, as you were kind of ascending in your career, what has been the best career advice somebody has given you along the way?
I don't really remember a lot of advice, but I do remember when I was in high school, I got some words of encouragement. I was in a school production, I was in 11th grade, of The Miracle Worker, and oh my God, now I'm blanking on her name. One of the great actresses of all time, Anne Bancroft, left a message on my machine. because her son went to school at my school, and she was, of course, in the original filmed production of The Miracle Worker. And she just said, she called my house and left on the machine. She said, "Born to do it. You were born to do it, Jack. I'm calling the playwright who always thought that part had no significance, and I'm telling him that you did an amazing, whatever." She just like gave me some encouragement at a vulnerable time. When you're a kid, I really wanted to be an actor, but I didn't know if I had what it takes, So when you get a little positivity, a little burst of that can go so far. And more than anything anyone's ever said to me, that was like an amazing thing that it was a gift that she gave to me. I listened to it like 1,000 times.
Well, if I could add anything, you're born to do this.
Thank you.
Jack Black, as always, such a pleasure.